Okay, it's together. Whoop, I'm in the way. It's together, and we're going to put some strings on it, but not right at the moment. I've got the ferrules glued in. I remembered to put wax on the screws this time, and they went back in, went in pretty nicely. I had a very high first fret and a very high ninth fret, and I had to take this one down so that it would be level with the other two here, and I cut this nut based on the height of this first fret originally before I did the fret job. So when I put the strings back on here, I have to do it carefully because I believe I may need to put a little touch back on this nut before I glue it in, and I'll do that tomorrow. It's a new day and it's time to string up the prints. So since I didn't put locking tuners on this guitar, we are going to use the Luthier's locking knot method. So basically it's easier to set up all of the holes in your tuners at a 45-degree angle this way. Stick your string through it if you can find the hole. There you go. And I like to give myself a little bit of slack here because I'm going to need to, on and off these things in order to verify the slots here based on taking down this first fret. So basically you stick it through there at that angle, then all you need to do is to run it to the inside, kink that under there, pull it tight, up over the top, make sure it's nice and tight, and then all you need to do is spin your wire on the post, making sure it goes under the wrap going downward. Fit it into your slot, and it's on. Just like that. So now that I did take down this first fret, it is very much over on both sides. And I think what I'm going to do is loosen it up and get the strings off. Well, not off, but get the nut out, I should say. This is 18. It's closer to the 18 than it is on the 16. So before I start cutting more in the slots, I'm going to take a little bit more meat off the bottom. That's going to give me a little bit better chance of getting the slots good. So now that I have all of the setup good, I'm just going to snip off these wires like that. And then what I do is I give them a little curl over if I don't cut them too short. I learned that from the Taylor guy. I think it was Taylor, yeah. Alright, it's time to see if it makes noise in the proper sequences on the other side. Well, more good news and bad news. Good news is, don't have to move because I've got an air bridge. I don't have to change the setup of the camera. I may have a little bit of a problem with the nut. I might have to just touch that up a little bit again. Just going to take a quick look inside there. And they look okay. The slots look okay. Check the leading edge. That too looks okay. Except for the G. The G's a little bit rough there. The G's a little bit rough. One of these is the right one. Smooth that off. These little round files. They'll make a nice U in the bottom. Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. And then we're going to get this back in where she's supposed to be. And we'll get the persuader to make sure it goes down on top of that glue. Good. So that brings us basically to the end of this guitar. I don't have any other work on it that I need to do. Okay, peoples, this is it together. The work up to this point has resulted in positive results overall. But before I turned on the camera, I played through some sounds, and I find that since the first time I played this, before I took it apart and did work on it, that now I'm lacking it. And it might be my ears, because I've been, you know, working with a lot of humbuckers recently, but I'm finding that the bridge pickup is thin and lacking, and that the neck pickup is overly boomy and dull, like a lot of standard Telecaster lipstick style pickups. And this one a little bit too shrilly. So this is all on standard, like I normally do, 65 Deluxe, no pedals, no effects at this point. And this is just the bridge. So with the amp 8 feet away and still at setting 2.5 like I use for everything, you can tell if you've watched some of my other videos that this is a little bit low output. And this is only like a 5.6K. They're both the same actually. So they're both low output pickups. I don't know if Prince's guitar was like that or not, but this one's kind of thin. And the neck is very dark. There may be a use for that somewhere, I don't know. But, and when you put them in parallel, this one overshadows that one by a lot, kind of like it cuts it out almost completely. And there's no tone or anything on there, so I'm not very happy with the pickups. I think I probably need to think about doing something to fix that to my liking. I noticed that Harley Benton has an ST62 with 3 single coils, which is a Strat, and they have a version of it, they call it the hot rod version, where they put a dual rail humbucker single Strat size in the bridge. I might think about doing something like that here and try to find something a little less dark over there. I tried bringing this up, but the staggered pull pieces are too close to the strings in the center, and I tried bringing this down, and it just stays boomy, and a lower volume of boomy the lower you go. So I tried to balance it a little bit, and I'm not really liking it that much. But everything else turned out great. The string trees, the brass nut is working good. Viewer said it should have been a black tusk. I agree. I just didn't have one. I tried to get one, bought one, and it came in. It was half the thickness that I needed for that position, and that didn't work. So I'm having trouble finding a black nut. If I find one, I might change it back. But the pickups right now are the things that concern me a lot. Aesthetically, everything else about this guitar is absolutely gorgeous. It's heavy, like my Tele #1 Swamp Ash, but what can you do? It's heavy, it's heavy. Swamp Ash is heavy. It's just the way it is. It's a very dense wood. The grain is gorgeous on it. I like the tortoise on here. And we'll see what happens with this. I think I'm going to have to put this aside for a while, think about what I could do with it, and maybe come back at some point and show you. So I'm going to call this the end of the series at the moment, with a possible epilogue. So thanks for all your support. I appreciate it. Catch you in the next one.